Afternoon, everyone. I welcome all the participants and our resource person, Honorable Dr. S.R. Bhagat Sir, to the third session of our AICT IST sponsored online induction refresher program on innovation in concrete technology. I would like to introduce our today's resource person, Honorable Dr. S.R. Bhagat Sir. Honorable Dr. S.R. Bhagat received PhD in Structural Engineering from IIT Roorkee. He is working as Associate Professor and Head at the Department of Civil Engineering at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, a state technological university. He is Chairman of Board of Studies, Civil Engineering and Academic Council member of the university. He is member of several committees of the universities. He has 23 years of experience in teaching, research, and consultancy. His research area includes high strength and high performance concrete, advanced composite materials, retrofitting, and strengthening of structures, finite element analysis, and structural design. He is recognized PhD guide of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere. 4 research scholars are working under his guidance. He is author of 7 civil engineering books and published more than 70 papers in journals, conferences, and seminars. He is member of American Concrete Institute, Indian Concrete Institute, Indian Society of Earthquake Technology, and other national and international professional bodies. So let us begin our today's session on pervious concrete at present need by Dr. S.R. Bhagat sir. I would like to request sir to start the session.
Thank you. First of all, a very good afternoon to one and all present over here. I would like to express my sincere thanks to the chief patrons of this 5 days AICT IST program, the principal of the institute, coordinator Professor Sawant sir, organizing committee members and all participants for giving me an opportunity to give a presentation on pervious concrete, present need. So before I start my presentation, I'll brief my organization, my university. So most of you may be knowing, it's a state technological university. It was established in 1989 by Government of Maharashtra with a unitary type of status. Later on in 2014, Government of Maharashtra, it made the university as a state technological university with affiliation in an affiliation mode with headquarters at Lonere. This place is 150 kilometers from Mumbai, 130 kilometers from Pune, well connected with road and railway, and it is at the foothill of the Raigad Fort. So presently the university has an affiliation of more than 200 colleges in 4 different professional courses: engineering and technology, architecture, pharmacy, and hotel management and catering technology. The area for this university is the entire state of Maharashtra. So we have 4 regional centers, 5 sub-centers working. So presently more than 60,000 students are under this university. So this is all about my organization. So I thought I should give some information on it, because most of you may be knowing, some of you may not be knowing it. We run all degree programs, PG programs, and PhD programs. So thank you, organizers. So whether that screen sharing right is given, madam? Okay, okay. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Okay. Fine. So the topic is pervious concrete, a present need. So if you can see on this screen, the concrete is just like a honeycombed concrete. Generally, what we study in concrete technology. But this is not a honeycombed concrete. Honeycombed concrete, it has voids, but the voids are not interconnected. However, the pervious concrete, the voids, they are interconnected, and it is purposely made. So in that sense, generally when we try to make a concrete, we try to make it impervious. We try to make it dense, so that strength, because density and impermeability, the strength depends on these factors also. But here the pervious concrete, purposely the voids are kept here, so that water will flow through it. So if you can see here, water is passing directly through the body of this concrete mass. So this is what today's topic is. I'll cover my presentation with the following points. Introduction to this topic, need of pervious concrete, why there is a need, what are the areas of applications, what materials are required, what are the general properties of this pervious concrete, and additional 2 points, that is what are environmental benefits and what is advantage of using such material in getting carbon points. And finally, I'll conclude the session. So you can see on the screen, there is one photography shown, pervious versus impervious pavement or concrete, you can see. So if you see this impervious concrete, generally the pavements or the areas in big societies, they are concreting is done, or the pavement blocks are used, or some tile work is done. So what happens is, whenever rainfall is there, in general 30% gets evaporated from this concrete surfaces, and 50 to 55% it is in the form of a runoff. So percolation is very less. You can see here 10% is up to a shallow depth, and 5% is up to a deeper greater depth. So in general 10 to 20% we can say the percolation takes place when we use our ordinary paver blocks or the pavements, concrete pavements, or some tile works that is done in the open area. Whereas the pervious concrete, if we see this pervious concrete pavement, runoff is very less. Okay, flow of water over the ground, that is very less, that is 10% only, whereas a large quantity of water, it infiltrates inside the ground, thereby recharging the groundwater level. So those who are from city areas or district places, we know that earlier 20 to 30 years back, we used to have a borewell in some region, and water availability was throughout the year. Nowadays, the borewell becomes dry after October or November till the rainwater comes. So one of the reason is the infiltration of the water inside the ground due to this impervious nature of surfaces that we created for our societies, that is now creating a problem. So this presentation is basically based on giving an introductory information on this pervious concrete. So you can see here the concrete. It is second, it's used as a pavement also, but for a lighter traffic, not for heavy traffic. So water easily seeps, easily permeates through it. So that is how the concrete has to be made. So what exactly is the meaning of pervious concrete? This pervious concrete, some of us know that no fines concrete. No fines means there is no sand or particle size which is smaller than 4.75 mm, or we can say is a fine aggregate. It is also known as a permeable concrete. It is known as a porous concrete, or it is also known as enhanced porosity concrete. In general, the material that we use for our ordinary concrete, those materials are used. Only the fine aggregates are not used. However, one may use a small quantity of fine aggregates in making this pervious concrete. It depends on proportioning. Coarse aggregate generally is of size 10 to 20 mm, that ordinary concrete that we use. And water to cementitious material ratio. Maybe cement with fly ash or some additives can be added so that the environment friendly concrete can be prepared. So that water to cementitious material ratio is in the range of 0.26 to 0.4. Any admixtures, if required, can be added in it to modify the properties of the pervious concrete. So you can see here, this is pervious concrete. Because of its porosity, it's not strong as our conventional concrete. The surfaces that we get, these surfaces are rough. Water, it seeps through it, reducing storm water. It's a noise, it creates a slightly noise, and it reduces because whenever vehicle moves, that noise absorption will be there because of voids. And the primary use is not for heavy traffic, it's for parking lots, sidewalks in gardens, or the footpaths, or it can be used inside the societies. Now, why there is a need of pervious concrete? Because if you see over a period of this 20 to 30 years, there is large growth of these cities. The small cities, they are becoming empty now. The old generation or parents, they are staying in the cities. However, the youngers, they move to major cities for education or for job. And this migration of the younger population, it poses a burden on the existing resources of the city. And the requirement that for this migrated population is growing day by day. And the total area, now it is becoming concrete. Somebody says that now Mumbai, Pune, or such cities, Delhi, Bangalore, these are concrete jungles. Hello. Okay. So these major cities, generally we say it's a concrete jungle now. Everywhere you will find concrete only. Some information I have collected for a Mumbai city. For a year of 1973 and what changes has taken place in over a period of some 20-25 years, that is 2018. So built up area of Mumbai city, it was around 160 square kilometer. And in 1973, the open land, it was around 60 square kilometer. So that was the status of Mumbai. And this picture is similar to other major cities also. In 2018, the built-up area has increased to 285 square kilometer, whereas the open land has reduced from 60 to 10 approximately 10 square meter. So the change, if you see the change, the built-up area has increased by 72%, whereas the open land through which the water, rainwater used to percolate, has reduced by 83%. So the runoff has increased, water infiltration has decreased. So that has created a problem. So whether this, we cannot now change the built up area to an open land, but at the most what we can do is wherever the loads are less, traffic is less, parking area is there, in that area if we can provide this pervious concrete, some rainwater will impregnate through it, and natural that water table will increase. So that is how a status over this
Whenever
period.
someone says Bharat.
So for a lighter side, some information that I collected from this internet, so I'll share. And I think this will break the monotony of the session also. So I have some 4 or 5 small video clips which will break the monotony of listening to same person for 1.5 hours, and that too after lunch. Okay.
What comes to mind is chai, pakode, Maggie.
I'll run it from start.
Whenever someone says Barish, what comes to mind is chai, pakode, Maggie. And if you live in any of the metro cities like Delhi, तो water logging and traffic jams too. अभी कुछ दिन पहले गुड़गांव का हाल देखा था, 3 घंटे बारिश हुई और अंडरपास में डूबी हुई गाड़ी की पिक्चर वेंट वायरल विद इन नो टाइम। ये उन अंडरपासेस की कहानी है जो इतने मॉडर्न और इंटरनेशनल दिखते हैं कि वहाँ कार एड शूट होते हैं, और अभी नए नए ही बने हैं, 3 साल भी नहीं हुए हैं। वैसे ये पहली बार नहीं है, 2016 में भी दिस मिलेनियम सिटी केम टू अ हॉल्ट। लोग 8-8 घंटे गाड़ियों में ट्रैफिक में फंसे रहे ड्यू टू रेन्स। एंड नॉट जस्ट गुड़गांव, बारिश के मौसम में इंडिया भर की सिटीज की हालत टाइट हो जाती है। 2016 बैंगलोर की 5 लेक्स ओवरफ्लो कर गई एंड क्रिएटेड हैवक। दिल्ली के मिंटो ब्रिज में हर साल वाटर लॉगिंग का सीन है, इस साल भी 1% डाइड। 2015 चेन्नई में फ्लडिंग में 100 पीपल डाइड कॉजिंग डैमेजेस वर्थ ₹20,000 करोड़। 2005 मुंबई, मोर देन 1000 पीपल डाइड। मुंबई में तो हर साल की प्रॉब्लम है ही, हैदराबाद और कोलकाता में भी हालत खराब ही रहती है। तो ये सीन क्या है? हर साल ही ये सब होता है, फिर भी why are we not able to tackle this problem? First, let's see अभी गुड़गांव में ये सीन क्यों हुआ। गुड़गांव वैसे ही अरावली के फुटहिल्स पर बसा हुआ शहर है, that makes all the rain water flow down to the city. यहाँ 1980s तक तो काफी झील और तालाब थे, बांध थे, जहाँ बारिश का पानी बह जाता था या रोक लिया जाता था। लेकिन फिर गुड़गांव में पिछले 3 डेकेड्स में जो रियल एस्टेट तेजी से डेवलप हुआ, मॉल्स, ऑफिस कॉम्प्लेक्सेस, रेजिडेंशियल सोसाइटीज एंड व्हाट नॉट, धीरे धीरे इन हाई राइजेस को बनाने के लिए ऑलमोस्ट सभी झील तालाब को भर दिया गया। साथ ही बादशाहपुर ड्रेन, जो कि शहर का मेन ड्रेनेज सिस्टम है, वहां भी a lot of concretization took place on the drain itself that has limited the capacity of the drain. कितने ही नए सेक्टर्स तो ऐसे भी हैं यहाँ जहां अभी ड्रेनेज सिस्टम या तो बना ही नहीं है या वो मेन ड्रेनेज से कनेक्टेड नहीं है। इस शहर की ओवर द इयर्स लार्ज स्केल अनप्लान्ड कंस्ट्रक्शन के चलते इसको अल्टीमेट प्लानिंग डिजास्टर बोला जा सकता है। बेसिकली हुआ ये है कि सभी शहरों में मोर स्पेसेस गॉट कन्वर्टेड टू अर्बन इम्पर्वियस स्पेसेस। बारिश का पानी जमीन में सीप इन नहीं होता, उससे वाटर लॉगिंग होती है और ग्राउंड वाटर भी रिप्लेनिश नहीं होता। अकॉर्डिंग टू स्टडीज, एक अनबिल्ट प्लॉट ऑफ लैंड पर बारिश का सिर्फ 15% पानी ही जमीन पर फ्लो करता है, रेस्ट ऑल इज एब्सॉर्ब्ड बाय द लैंड। वही ऑन बिल्ट अप साइट 95% रेन वाटर फ्लोज ऑन द लैंड सरफेस। और ऐसे में बहुत ज्यादा बारिश होने पर हमारे कंक्रीट जंगल शहरों के ड्रेनेज सिस्टम की लग जाती है। शहरों में इतनी रैपिड डेवलपमेंट का मेन कारण है इंक्रीजिंग पॉपुलेशन इन द सिटी। For example, the Millennium City that has emerged as one of India's most important industrial hubs made more and more people to settle here for work. यहाँ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ग्रोथ मेनली प्राइवेट कंपनीज ने किया, जो कि अपने अपने बिल्डिंग कॉम्प्लेक्सेस के बाउंड्री के अंदर तक ही चीजें मेंटेन करते हैं। करोड़ों की प्रॉपर्टीज, बट बाहर निकलते ही सड़कों की इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की हालत खराब। साथ ही इतनी पॉपुलेशन बढ़ने का साइड इफेक्ट है सड़कों पर ट्रैफिक, जिसको ईज डाउन करने के लिए ये अंडरपासेस बनाए गए, बट क्लियरली विदाउट प्रिपरेशंस फॉर द वर्स्ट। वैसे क्लाइमेट चेंज भी हो ही रहा है एंड इट्स इफेक्ट्स आर विजिबल अराउंड द कंट्री। इन द लास्ट फ्यू इयर्स मॉनसून लेट आ रहा है, और जब आता है तो बहुत ही कम समय में बहुत ज्यादा बारिश हो जाती है। जैसे अभी गुड़गांव रिसीव 95 मिलीमीटर ऑफ रेन, जो कि नॉर्मल से काफी ज्यादा है। जस्ट टू गिव यू एन आइडिया, ऑन एन एवरेज गुड़गांव में हर साल टोटल जितनी बारिश होती है उसकी 1/5 बारिश इस एक दिन में हो गई। ये सभी रीजन जो गुड़गांव में फ्लडिंग लेकर आए बाकी की सिटीज में भी अप्लाई होते हैं। Cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Kolkata have been hubs of economic growth that has led to population explosion in these places over the years. China के बाद India has the second largest urban population in the world. UN का estimate है कि 2014 से 2050 के बीच करीब 40 करोड़ लोग इंडिया के urban areas में और settle होंगे. Poor job opportunities in the villages and small towns also lead to this migration. और फिर infrastructure और affordable housing की कमी की वजह से large slums have mushroomed in all of these cities. मुंबई की 1.5 करोड़ से ज्यादा की पॉपुलेशन का 54% हिस्सा इस समय स्लम्स में रहता है. NYU की एक रिसर्च के हिसाब से मुंबई is amongst the most populated unplanned cities globally. You know, मुंबई की current population is more than double the population that was decided in 1970s that the city could handle. इतनी पॉपुलेशन की वजह से इन सभी सिटीज की हुई काफी अनप्लान ग्रोथ, जिसने लगाई है इन सिटीज के ड्रेनेज सिस्टम और वेस्ट डिस्पोजल सिस्टम की बाट. बैंगलोर को ही देख लो, यहाँ एक एफिशिएंट स्टॉर्म वाटर ड्रेनेज सिस्टम हुआ करता था कनेक्टिंग डिफरेंट लेक्स. एक लेक का पानी ओवरफ्लो होता तो इट वुड ऑटोमेटिकली फ्लो टू अनदर लेक थ्रू कनेक्टेड नेटवर्क्स. फिर क्या, एंक्रोचमेंट्स हुई, सॉलिड वेस्ट ने इन चैनल्स को ब्लॉक करना शुरू किया और फ्लड वाटर ओवरफ्लो होने लगा. एंक्रोचमेंट्स और अनप्लान्ड कंस्ट्रक्शंस की वजह से गुड़गांव की ही तरह बाकी की बड़ी सिटीज में भी नेचुरल वाटर बॉडीज धीरे-धीरे खत्म हो गई हैं. हैदराबाद में 375 lakes have gone extinct. दिल्ली में 274 of 611 water bodies have dried up. चेन्नई, आजादी के टाइम पर यहाँ 30,000 से ज्यादा तालाब थे, 5,000 हेक्टेयर मार्शलैंड थे. अब इनमें से मोस्ट ऑफ द पॉन्ड्स डोंट एग्जिस्ट और 5,000 हेक्टेयर के मार्शलैंड 600 हेक्टेयर से भी कम के रह गए हैं. मार्शलैंड्स, वेटलैंड्स, लेक्स, रिवर्स, ये सब नेचुरल रिजर्वॉयर्स का काम करते हैं. यही नहीं, ये ग्राउंड वाटर को भी रिप्लेनिश करते हैं, जो कि इस समय मोस्टली जगहों पर इज डिप्लीटिंग एट अ वरिंग पेस. वेल, ऐसा नहीं है कि नथिंग इज हैपनिंग अबाउट इट. 2016 में गुड़गांव के मेन बादशाहपुर ड्रेन को एक्सपैंड करने का प्रोजेक्ट अनाउंस हुआ. मोस्ट ऑफ द वर्क ऑन दिस हैज बीन डन, बट कुछ पार्ट अटका हुआ है ड्यू टू लिटिगेशन ओवर स्ट्रक्चर्स दैट नीड टू बी रिमूव्ड. अरावलीज के चेक डैम्स भी रिवाइव करने का प्लान हो रहा है. बाकी सिटीज में भी हर साल कुछ ना कुछ प्रिपरेशंस होती हैं, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हम बहुत सो के जागते हैं. वी स्टार्ट प्लानिंग लेट एंड देन इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में और भी ज्यादा टाइम लगाते हैं. जब तक इम्प्लीमेंट होता है, नई प्रॉब्लम्स खड़ी हो जाती हैं. वी डोंट फोरसी द फ्यूचर, like in case of what happened in Gurgaon के underpasses अभी. We all know climate change is happening, so extreme weather के लिए शायद already prepared हो सकते थे. इसके लिए किसी भी urban infrastructure project से पहले detailed studies करना बहुत important है कि extreme weather conditions को कैसे tackle किया जाएगा. But ऐसा rarely ही होता है. Due to poorly planned constructions, already हर साल इतना कुछ होता है. Constructions में जो गलतियां हो चुकी हैं, उसे तो नहीं ही चेंज कर सकते. But authorities need to come up with innovative solutions so that जो हालत है, उसके हिसाब से सुधार हो सके. And that has to be done on an urgent basis. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा पानी goes into the groundwater and doesn't flow on the land surface. उसके लिए एक effective solution है that we citizens we install rainwater harvesting systems in our homes and buildings. पानी की वैसे ही इतनी कमी है. आने वाले सालों में हाल काफी बुरा होने वाला है. And we end up wasting all the rainwater, letting it flood our cities. Instead, it should be used to recharge our groundwater. Rainwater harvesting has to be implemented all over, and people need to be made aware. प्रॉपर अर्बन प्लानिंग की बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है हमारी सिटीज को. अदरवाइज ये सब डेवलपमेंट जो सरफेस लेवल पर दिखती है, मॉल्स, फैंसी ऑफिसेज, सोसाइटीज, अंडरपासेस, वो सब धरी की धरी रह जाएगी. Real development has to be sustainable, and as we can all witness, there can be no two ways about it. Tell me in the comments below what you think about this, and like and share this video. Whenever someone says.
So now this video clearly mentions that what the way in which the city has grown, and the pervious surfaces, the ground surfaces which were available 20-30 years back, now they are covered with impervious surfaces, and that leads to this runoff and waterlogging in most of the part of the cities. Now that was true. Now we can say that okay, Mumbai is in coastal region and heavy rains are there, but the example shown in that video, it was for Delhi where rainfall is less. However, whatever rainfall mentioned there, 95 mm in a day, that led to the waterlogging of most of the area. And this waterlogging issues, that not only for the public which are going from one place to another place, there may be because of waterlogging, a traffic jam is there, somebody needs some emergency medical help or something. So indirect problems are also there along with these waterlogging issues. So that was an example. Now a very small clip is there on what happens in Pune also.
Sir, video is not visible.
Not visible.
Yes, sir.
The first video was visible, sir.
Yes, it was
Yes, first was visible.
Second one is not.
Just a minute. Now is it visible, sir?
No, sir.
No, not.
Yes.
No, sir.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Are on the shoulders. Road is there. Bituminous road is there, and the water logging problems are there. Okay, so similar, yeah, screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Screen is visible.
Okay. So similar situation is there in most of the cities, and I don't want to claim that this pervious concrete will solve all these problems. However, it will reduce down the issues that are due to this impervious nature of surfaces which we have constructed in the cities. So this pervious concrete pavements allows a large quantity of waters to percolate through it. The applications of this pervious concrete, lot many applications are there, except where heavy loads are there and where reinforcement is there. Wherever concrete that we use, almost in all the places, this pervious concrete can be used. So a list is there of the applications of pervious concrete. Pervious pavement for parking lots, okay, where the vehicular traffic is slow. At those locations, because larger pavement areas are there. So if we use this pervious concrete, the rainwater can infiltrate easily. Rigid drainage layers under exterior mall areas. Greenhouse floors can be the places where this pervious concrete can be used. Structural wall applications, pavements, walls, and floors. Even base course for streets, road, driveways, and airports, where the drainage of water will be easy through this pervious concrete. Surface course for parks and tennis courts. So depending on the size of aggregate, the size of void will be there. I'll show you a slide what is the size of that void, how the size of void changes with the size of aggregate. But in such areas, it can be used. Floors for zoo areas and animal barns and stalls. These are some of the applications. Bridge embankments, swimming pool decks. So waters when splash out, that can be collected with the help of this pervious flooring. Beach structures and sea walls, sewage treatment plant, sludge beds, solar energy storage systems, wall linings for drilled wall wells. So generally what happens when we do lining to a water well, the natural spring sometimes they gets blocked. Lining is required, otherwise that surrounding soil will collapse inside the well. So wall lining with the help of this pervious concrete can maintain the natural springs in that well, and more water can be fetched through this well. So that is one of the advantage. And artificial reefs where microorganisms are such types of growth will takes place inside the sea. So these are some of the examples. Any other innovative things can be prepared or that can be produced with the help of this pervious concrete. Okay, lot many applications are there. So you can see this beautiful picture, colored pervious concrete is there. So this is an application. It's now as good as our open ground, but the surface available is stiff and hard. So naturally you can do cycling, you can have walk over it, you can have a slow speed vehicular traffic can be used with this. This is how a preparation of walkway is going on. Okay, so trial 1. This is inside a garden, walkway inside a garden. Parking areas where this pervious concrete can be used, because there is no point in using this large area, making it impervious and just adding the storm water to the drains. Rather than it can percolate through the ground. So inside a garden or pedestrian walkway it can be used. Greenhouse flooring can be constructed with the help of pervious concrete. Okay, light traffic. Okay, there in those areas this pervious concrete can be used, because a wide variety of strength can be achieved by proper proportioning up to say 20 or 30 MPa, starting from 2 to 5 MPa. So depending on the requirement of strength, pervious concrete can be prepared. Now materials required, it's ordinary concrete, the material that we use for our ordinary concrete, same materials are used except the finer particle, that is fine aggregate. Why fine aggregate is not to be used is because these fine aggregates will block the void, they will make the pervious concrete impervious. So for that reason, smaller particles should not be used. That is how the recommendations are. However, in small proportion, to modify the properties of pervious concrete, a small quantity of the smaller size particles can be used. Water cementitious ratio 0.25 to 0.4, because larger quantity of water will improve the workability, but it will make the concrete dense, and the voids that we want from this pervious concrete, connecting voids, that won't get because of more compacted concrete. So in laboratory at my place also some work has been carried out on this. You can see this a harsh type of mix. It looks like a harsh type of mix. No smaller particles are used in it. What I told is we can use 10 mm to 20 mm. So you can see here a few cubes are there which are made by using a smaller size aggregate, 10 mm aggregate, 10-12 mm aggregate. Whereas the other cube, these cubes, they are made from 20 mm size aggregate. The voids will differ, but the interconnected void should be maintained so that water will percolate through it. That is what the main aim or the main idea behind making a proper proportioning of pervious concrete. So you can see here a graph is shown here, percolation in mm per minute, and here void contents in percentage by volume of the total concrete. So as this void content increases from 10 to 20 or 30 or 40, the percolation, rate of percolation, that increases. So if you see this point is approximately 15%. This is 15% void content. The meaning is if the void contents are less than 15% for a concrete, the percolation that will be almost zero. So voids are present, but they are not interconnected. So it is just like a honeycombed concrete. Okay. So void should be there, but they should be interconnected. So if larger void content is there, naturally more connecting voids are there and percolation will be more. So that is what is an observation. So minimum voids. Why this is required? Because when we go for a design, mixed design, we have to take care that how much voids we want in concrete. It depends on what is the percolation rate we want to achieve from that concrete. So at the time of design, okay, we have to consider that we want, for example, 30% void or some 25% void or some 35% of void. Okay, so this will help in a mixed design of pervious concrete. Another graph, it shows compressive strength and void content. So that already we know for our ordinary concrete, as void increases, the compressive strength decreases. So as this is true with pervious concrete also, you can see here the when voids are very less, 2 to 3%, the compressive strength achieved is 35%, 35 MPa, whereas when the void content increases, the compressive strength decreases. So now depending on the application of this pervious concrete, so let us say some heavy loads are there. As earlier a slide was shown, a light vehicular traffic is there, and it is expected that okay, 30 MPa should be the concrete strength. Then only a 10% void content will be there. And then as this is less than 15%, the permeability will be almost zero. So we have to decide upon these parameters while going for mixed design of this pervious concrete. So one thing I would like to mention here, that there is no Indian code which gives guidelines for preparing a pervious concrete. So it is the experience, trial and error method, or some international standards we can refer to design a pervious concrete mix. So quantity of this coarse aggregate. The another parameter that affects the performance of pervious concrete is the paste volume. How much paste volume is there? What is the quantity of cement? And what is the water content or water added while making the pervious concrete? So this graph shows the void content against this paste content percent by volume. So if paste content increases, you can see here on x-axis, if the paste content increases, the void content decreases, and hence the permeability of concrete, pervious concrete, that decreases. So we have to achieve some, let us say some 20 or 25% voids are expected. Then the paste content should not be greater than 12 or 15%. So such type of information will be useful in designing the pervious concrete. So naturally what happens, paste content means a finer material is more available in more quantity, and naturally the compaction, or whenever we do vibration, that will be easy to compact the material, and hence the void content decreases. So purpose of getting voids will not serve if we use higher quantity of paste. So again, a pervious concrete construction, a simple, a small video is there, 2-3 minutes, which will break the again monotony of my plain voice. So if it is not visible, you just let me know, sir.
The concrete truck has arrived at Allison Johnston's home in Menlo Park, California. Today, she's renovating her driveway. An interior designer, Johnston thought a lot about the materials she might use, but she also had some concerns.
Environmentally, we definitely had some drainage problems with our yard, and in Menlo Park, we're required to keep all of the water on our property and not overload the storm drain systems.
So Johnston turned to a smart substance called pervious concrete. While it may look like ordinary paving material, watch what happens when a barrel full of water is poured on it. And it doesn't just drain, it filters out pollutants too. David Ligori is the contractor helping Johnston with the installation.
So as the water goes through the pervious concrete, A lot of bigger particles, heavy metals, things like that get caught up in here and don't pass through.
Under the concrete, Ligori laid down a bed of crushed rock. The bed acts as a reservoir for the water until it can soak into the soil.
And while the water's sitting there, the microbes have time to digest the various chemicals that are in the water.
They literally eat the pollutants and make them harmless. While the new driveway costs about 10% more than a traditional concrete driveway, Johnson says she will save money in the long run.
This allowed us to drain some of that water straight through the driveway rather than running an extensive drain system.
For Smart Planet, I'm Sumi Das.
Okay, so the video has clearly mentioned that pollutants can be trapped in this porous concrete, thereby reducing the load on the purification plant of municipal bodies. So that is another advantage of this pervious concrete. Okay. Now I'll come to what are the properties of this pervious concrete. So the various properties of pervious concrete, it depends on its porosity, that is void content, which in turn depend on cementitious content, what is the paste content, what is the water to cementitious material ratio, what is the compaction level. So for our ordinary concrete, we want the very compact, dense material. And for that, we go for vibration, maybe a pin vibration, table vibration. Here, the compaction level should be very less to just adjust the force aggregate particles without blocking the voids inside it. So a little vibration is required so that the desired strength can be achieved. So this slide shows the compressive strength against the air content. So that is natural. Air content that increases, what will happen? The compressive strength that will go on decreasing. So compressive strength versus unit weight, that is already we know for our ordinary concrete, when it is properly compacted or fully compacted, we take it around 24 to 2500 kg per meter cube. Here also the compressive strength and unit weight. So as unit weight increases means it is more compacted concrete. The compressive strength will also increase. So the behavior is similar to our ordinary concrete. Now this graph shows air content for two different compaction levels. Okay, so if lightly compacted, we get it a curve like this. If we compact it heavily, okay, the curve will become like this. So depending on how much compaction energy that we provide, the strength properties or void content that will depend. The another graph, it shows the beam beam flexural strength versus air content. So flexural strength decreases again with air content. So these such type of information will be useful. Let us say we want to use it for a driveway or light traffic, then we are interested in what is the flexural strength. So that time we need to refer such things, such information to go for a proper design. Void content versus density. Void is more, density reduces, that we know. Okay. So void content, it depends on aggregate gradation. So generally what happens for our ordinary concrete, we have all size of particles ranging from 10 mm to 20 mm, whereas it is recommended for pervious concrete that a single size particle should be used so that interconnected voids will remain. So this is influence of aggregate size and gradation on the porosity of pervious concrete. So if you go on increasing the percentage of a smaller size particle, as I told you, it depends on the requirement. The finer aggregate can be added in a very small quantity. So, and a study has been carried out when the percentage of 2.36 mm average size used from 0 to 100% for two different size aggregate. One is 4.75 mm and another is for 10 mm. So you can see here for 25 to 75 or the average porosity is large compared to 0 and 100. So while proportioning it, we have to consider these factors also. Now, what are the pore size present in it? The pore size, it depends on the size of aggregate that we use. However, if we use a smaller size aggregate, let us say 10 mm size aggregate, if the voids are interconnected and if the porosity remains same, the permeability or percolation of water that will be similar to what a concrete prepared with 20 mm size aggregate. So that is what the observation with the experiment that conducted in my department. So you can see here a microstructure of three different size aggregates. One is 2.36 mm, another is our fine aggregate 4.75, and the third one is 10 mm aggregate size. Okay, so these dark areas, these black spots, these are voids. Now, if we quantify all these voids, it is found that almost all these voids for each sample, that is around 20 to 25%. So that void content, that is same, but the pore size is different. If you see for 2.36, pore size is different. For 4.75, it's a larger than what we have for 2.36 mm. And for 10 mm coarse aggregate, the pore size is still larger than 4.75. However, the total voids present on each area, that is around 20 to 25. And the percolation rate for all the three specimens, that is equal. What do we mean by this? Even if we go for different particle size for preparing pervious concrete, if the voids are interconnected and sufficient voids are present, the percolation is not going to affect. It will remain almost same. That is what the experience from different size of coarse aggregates. So, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fine. As I told, minimum porosity required is 15%, because if porosity is less than 15%, interconnected voids won't be there. For a porosity of 20 to 25%, the coefficient of permeability is approximately 100 mm per square.
Mute your mic.
Is there any issue? Somebody is, I think, can you request him?
Sir, yes, you are the host, no, so I can't do the settings.
Okay, I am host.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Vinayak Kale sir, hello.
No issue.
Vinayak sir.
Okay, I think fine. Okay, no issue. Fine.
Yes.
So, okay, a permeability of 36 liter per meter square per second is found to be more satisfactory. The infiltration rate of pervious concrete will fall into this range of 80 liters per minute per square meter to 720 liters per minute per square meter. So you can see a very huge quantity of water will percolate through this pervious concrete, and it will help in saving our environment. It will help in recharging the groundwater level. It will help in reducing the pollutants from this runoff water. So all these advantages are there. And what is observed is nowhere in the world the rainfall will be greater than this value. So this pervious concrete is one of the best solution for this groundwater recharge or stormwater management. You can see here a fire hydrant is open with full, you can say, discharge, and the entire water is absorbed by the pervious concrete. Air content and percolation. So as I told you, around 15% it is ineffective. After that, the percolation will be very high. Can you see these values?
Yes, sir.
500, 1000, 1500. Okay, so if you come to this Konkan region, my place, the average rainfall is this 3000 mm. Okay, so even that rainfall, when it heavily rains, even this pervious concrete can absorb or can allow this water to percolate through it. So I don't think there is any issue with this pervious. So you can see this pervious, this percolation test is performed. So nowhere in the world such type of rainfall will occur, I think, except there is a cloud burst. So entire water can be absorbed or percolated through this pervious concrete layer. Fine. So that was a field test, you can say. This is how a standard test proposed by ASTM for checking the permeability or percolation rate of pervious concrete. So a sample is placed here. This is water level. It is just as similar to what we have in case of permeability test of soil. Okay, falling head permeability meter. It is similar to it, but of a larger size. Okay. So that was all about pervious concrete, its applications, the materials, properties of it. I'll come to last two parts of my presentation, that is environmental benefit. So everyone is talking about sustainability. Even UNDP, they have 17 such criteria of sustainability. So stormwater management is one of it. So what are the environmental benefits of this pervious concrete? So first benefit is stormwater management. What happens if the impervious surfaces are there? The water which is the rainwater, it flows over this impervious surface and that goes inside the drains. Since these drains are not designed for the this much rainwater which comes because of impervious nature of surfaces, the quantity of water that comes suddenly and this drain water that starts overflowing in cities. So that can be managed with the help of this pervious concrete. The another advantage of pervious concrete is since it's a concrete, generally we use cementitious material, so fly ash can be added in it. So naturally compared to the bituminous material, the concrete has high reflectance value, and it is observed that around 30% lighting cost can be reduced by using this pervious concrete. So that is what an observation compared to the bituminous or black surface. Okay, Purnima madam, she raised, I think, hand. Okay, if any query is there, we'll discuss. Okay. So parking area ecosystems is one of the advantage of environmental benefit of it. And heat island effect. What happens because of this impervious or concreting in the city, that area of city that has a higher temperature compared to the surrounding land. So if you go outside the city, you will find the climate is little bit or temperature is little bit low compared to the city area. So this pervious concrete will reduce down this temperature rise in the major cities or the urban areas. That is one of the advantage. So stormwater management, already I told you, rainfall should get absorbed. So load on the filtration unit, that will be less. So the permeability of porous concrete provides a potential solution to the problem of stormwater runoff, which is a serious environmental concern accompanying increased urbanization. Even that pollutants can be reduced down, so thereby load on treatment.
Stormwater runoff occurs when rain falls in urban areas. This runoff can cause increased pollution in rivers and streams, flash floods, and loss of rainwater that replenishes the water table and aquifers. By capturing rainwater and allowing it to seep into the ground, pervious concrete is instrumental in recharging groundwater and reducing stormwater runoff. Pervious concrete is a carefully controlled mixture of mainly coarse aggregate, cementing materials, and water. The reduced sand content results in a pavement with a high void content, allowing water to pass freely through it, putting rainwater back where it belongs, in the ground. Pervious concrete has a 15 to 25% void structure, and flow rates of 200 liters of water per minute for each square meter of pervious pavement are typical. Pervious concrete is a durable material. It has been used for low-volume streets, driveways, sidewalks, and parking lots throughout the Pacific Northwest. Pervious concrete has also been used in freeze-thaw conditions for over 15 years, and technical and design expertise is available to ensure optimal performance in freeze-thaw applications. Pervious pavement is a best management practice recommended by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for the management of stormwater runoff. In traditional parking lots, stormwater can send up to 90% of the pollutants, such as oil and other hydrocarbon liquids, directly into rivers and streams, affecting marine habitats. By allowing the water to pass through pervious concrete parking lots into the ground, soil chemistry and biology can treat the polluted water naturally. Pervious concrete is the smart business choice. This pavement technology also creates more efficient land use by eliminating the need for retention ponds, swales, and other stormwater management devices. In doing so, pervious concrete allows for more efficient land development and has the ability to lower overall project costs on a first cost basis.
It's surprising to people just how much water can pass through in such a short period of time. And when you see it firsthand, you're sold.
We were looking for something that would cut down on our need for stormwater, a stormwater system. Basically, we've got really well graded sub base here. We got about 13. Not have to put in any stormwater system to handle the water over the ground. So this system, basically collects all the water off these roadways, puts it through this pervious, and then into the ground. So saves us some money.
If you have a site that needs detention, for example, the first choice is a tank of some sort, and that tank tends to cost $50 to $60 to $100,000 to put in. Even if there's a bit of a premium of 10% or so for it being pervious, you're probably still going to be cheaper than putting a tank in. And you get the benefit of the fact that the area that is a parking lot is not impervious.
Pervious concrete has tremendous potential for our industry, for our contractors, for our ready-mix producers to supply a product that can contribute to environmental sustainability.
And in Surrey, one of our issues is the fact that we have flooding in the lowlands. The more we develop in the uplands, the more impact there is downstream. So in order to avoid flooding downstream, we need to soak the water back into the ground as much as possible, or reuse it, evaporate it, do something with it so that it's not going into the storm system and ending up down at the bottom end of the drainage system. We're doing some porous concrete parking lots, big ones. The reaction from our administration is great because they now have something that shows that we are really trying to be more sustainable. From a cost perspective, on the first project, I don't think it came out much more expensive than a conventional asphalt parking lot.
But once our concrete suppliers and our contractors become familiar with it, they find it as easy to use, if not easier, than conventional concrete.
Start to finish, this product is much easier than traditional concrete. You place it, you do a few things to it in a sense of finishing, and it's done and it's covered. So the time-wise, we're done an hour. What a job traditionally would take 2.5, 3 hours.
Well, this pervious concrete has been placed on a compacted surface. The concrete is shooted directly out of the truck. Standard ready-mix truck. This concrete's batched out of a dry plant, and we've made no modifications to the process. Raked into place, screened off approximately a half inch higher than the finished surface. It's then rolled with a roller to level the surface out, provide compaction, and give us a smoother texture. Concrete's then quickly covered with some poly cover to retain any moisture in the concrete.
Pervious concrete, the sustainable choice, the smart business choice, the natural choice. If you would like more information on pervious concrete.
Okay, so that was self-explanatory with the advantages of pervious concrete. The other environment benefit is high reflectance, low lighting cost. So as I told you, as good as 30% of lighting cost can be reduced with the help of when we go for such type of reflecting surfaces. Parking area ecosystems. So water can pass easily through this parking area pavement into the soil rather than collecting it into the stormwater drains. So this way the stormwater runoff that will reduce down, and the problems associated with it, that is pollutants and other things, that will also reduce down. That pollutants won't go into the river or lake from where we collect water for drinking or for other purposes. So as I told you, heat island effect. So naturally the temperature of the city that will come down by 2 to 3 degrees if compared to the impervious surfaces. At the same time, ozone production can be reduced down with this. The other advantage of this pervious concrete is lead points. So lead is nothing but leadership in energy and environment design. Is a rating system developed by United States Green Building Council to evaluate the environmental performance of a building. So that is what this lead rating is. Generally is carried out with various points for a building. What UNESCO predicts is that many countries will find a shortage of physical water in coming 10 to 20 years. By 2050, most of the major cities in the world, they will dry out, and they need to either take care today itself so that the next generation will have water for use. Else, no, you can see that one of the city in Southern Africa, it has zero water now, zero rainfall. So to avoid such situation, this pervious concrete sorry, will help. So what are different lead points that one can gain from this pervious pavement is, so lead credit SSC 6.1, stormwater design quantity control. So that point or that credit can be earned by using this pervious concrete in the societies or in the areas of this open areas. Lead credit SSC 6.2, stormwater design quality control. On this also the lead credit can be earned. Lead credit SSC 7.1, heat island effect, non-roof type, that can be earned. Similarly, lead credit WEC 1.1, water efficient landscaping, that can be earned. Lead credit MR C4.1 and MR C4.2 for recycled content. So recycled aggregate can be used for making this pervious concrete. And finally, lead credit MRC 5.1 and MRC 5.2 for using regional materials, because recycled content can be used. So that can be used. Okay, so these are 6 credit points that can be earned if a pervious concrete is used. Now, 1 or 2 slides are there. Pervious concrete, it is basically a low carbon footprint concrete. So environmental effect of this carbon dioxide that everyone know. Now the global warming effect is there. The glaciers, they are melting. The temperature, average temperature is rising. So everyone is concerned about the Mother Earth, and everybody is looking for a sustainable solution or a sustainable material. So we have to reduce down our carbon footprint. So what is with this pervious concrete is, pervious concrete for making, we can use this recycled aggregate or